Hello and welcome to Table of Geequals, Episode 11. Spoiler alert, no bitching. So this week, we have back our maritime heavy armor guys, Scott, Ben. Say hello.
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 First of all, Scott, any new geek stuff in your life?
Any new geek stuff in my life? I don't know. I video game stuff. That's totally geek stuff. I started playing Republic Commando finally.
Oh, you got it to work.
Yeah, that game came out in 2006.
Addicted?
Yeah, it's all right.
You're a PC gamer, are you?
Naturally, PC Gaming Master Race.
Okay.
The console wars peasants amuse me. They may continue.
Wonderful. I'm happy to provide amusement for you, my liege.
Thank you.
Can I get you a drink?
Yes, that would be wonderful.
And Ben?
Let's see, new geek stuff. I'm currently working on the second issue of Ray Desjardins' Shenanigans Tale comic, which is
I'm really looking forward to
which is
that.
geeky and awesome, and it's nearing completion.
Funny. Like, it's
It's
really
hilarious.
funny.
I love working on it.
I haven't read the first one yet. Ray, just plug your ears, man. I haven't read the first one yet. I really want to, but I haven't got it. I didn't have $3 on me. When I was at...
Guys, I don't want to brag, but when we were out having a drink at the Lion's Head, he gave me a copy for free.
Oh, you fucking dick.
Take that, guys.
Who gave him a microphone?
He has the golden microphone.
Right, and I can turn other people's microphones off.
You know what else? You know what else is golden?
Don't piss him off.
You know what
He'll
else?
turn your. I'm sorry, Derek. I thank you for turning my microphone back on.
Oh, you got it, man.
Piss is also golden on a bad day.
But yeah, I got a chance to check that comic out, and it's
What do
actually
you
really
think?
fucking cool, man.
He's funny, eh?
You draw, Ben?
Yeah,
You draw it?
I drew it.
He's the artist.
That's
He's
really
the
good.
artist for that.
I'm working
Yeah.
on the second one now. The inking's almost done, and it should be out the first week of July,
Hey,
Awesome.
nice.
with a third one in the works.
I'm in the third one.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, looking forward to
Because
it.
he's gone through, and that's one thing that you might not know about it, is that Ray has just modeled his characters on everybody he knows, right?
Basically.
There's
So
some
it's
familiar
like,
faces.
it just makes it easier to write when you know the person and you can just add their personality to it. So
So who are you going to be?
I'm apparently a ringmaster for a circus.
Sounds
I
about
can
right.
see that.
Yeah.
He says he wants to work in background noise. He's like, I want guys to visit a radio show, and you'll be on the radio show. I was like, hey, awesome, by all means.
Yep.
So Ben's going to draw me, and I'll probably look like an asshole.
I'll
Well,
do
you
my
look
best.
like an asshole when he's
I'll
not
do my
there.
best to make you
That's
look
what I'm
like an
saying. He's an
asshole.
accurate drawer, but I'm an asshole.
And you guys have raised a ton of cash. So the last time we talked to you, you were going out for like 4 hours on a Saturday, like 6 of you dressed up in armor.
Yep.
Having pictures snapped and raising money.
Pictures are free. Donations are welcome.
Yep. So how much did you raise?
We blew away our $1,500 goal by $300 and ended our fundraising adventure with $1,800 for prostate cancer.
So fundraising is done.
Fundraising is done.
Cancer,
for the year.
yeah, colon cancer is cured. You're done.
Prostate cancer.
Prostate cancer cured. $1,800.
We're happy with it.
Our
Yep.
work here is
No,
till
man,
next year.
that's
great.
amazing,
That's really
especially
awesome.
considering it's hot as balls out, and I imagine that armor.
Father's Day was dreadful. Holy shit.
And we did the full 5K walk in the suits this year under the boiling sun, but
Yeah.
we got to the shortcut. They had a 2.5K shortcut, and we were like, no, keep going.
we were initially going to take the 2.5K shortcut, and we were walking by it. It's just a long straight road off to our right, and I looked down and I'm like, nobody else took that
Yeah, there was
shortcut.
nobody else
Fuck it,
on
keep
it.
going. I don't want to be the
We're
first
not going to
one.
be the first.
So I have a question. Like, I know how hot the armor gets,
Yeah.
and how much you said. Why don't you put gel ice packs inside your armor?
The chief does. The chief has some gel ice packs in his armor. He has a whole cooling vest.
Yeah,
And
He's smarter than us.
Yeah. He has more funds at his disposal to buy me better toys. Some of us have fans in our helmet, and I'll get around to putting mine back in, but
You just get sweaty and get used to it.
Yeah,
you get it to a certain level of boiling sweat, and then
maxi
and
pads.
then-
Just stick maxi pads. No, seriously.
talking.
Take maxi pads, stick them to your forehead.
That'd work.
Sweat doesn't
Pad
get in your
helmet?
eyes.
that's not the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
No,
you
it's
say.
not. It works. It's a self-adhesive sweatband.
And what's it Joe always says? If it's stupid and it works, it ain't stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so give that a shot. Just like I just want to see you like walk around with 2 maxi pads stuck to your forehead. Take your helmet off. Mommy, why has he got a rag stuck to his head? No,
Just keep walking.
just keep walking. Don't make eye contact.
Then we'll never get money.
We've done more foolish things.
Have we? Have we really?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't remember them, but I'm sure we have.
You start the day with like a couple of drinks before you go out into the sun and sweat all the water.
And then I put on a bodysuit made of spandex and put a couple pads on my head. Yeah,
We weren't hungover this year,
It's
though.
a wonder you haven't been arrested.
When we went out.
Yeah,
and
right. I live just off Willett by the Lacewood Transit Terminal and the Canada Game Center where we were starting the walk on Father's Day. It's just up the street, so I suited up in my living room and I just walked down the street. And I have a big rifle. It's an old MG34. It's made out of rubber, and I'm walking in my full Stormtrooper armor. I've got my helmet on the top of my rifle, slung over my shoulder, and I get to the Canada Game Center. We're hanging around chatting, and every time I see a police officer, I usually thank them for coming to whatever event. I just went up to him. I'm like, hey, thanks for coming out to the event. I really appreciate that you're keeping the place safe. HRP, RCMP, good guys. And he's like, yeah, actually, they were looking for you earlier. And I'm like, sorry, come again? He's like, yeah, somebody called 911 earlier saying there was a guy walking down the street with a rifle. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. But once I saw you come here, I was like, yeah, found your guy. It's don't worry about it. So somebody called the cops on me. I was proud of that.
It's bound to happen.
Now what if people found out when you were going to an event with your rubber gun?
Yeah.
And then just, no, it's okay. It was just one of the stormtroopers.
I just love the idea of this 911 phone call. Hello, 911. Yes, there's a man dressed
it was
all. Yes, there's a man dressed all in white walking down the store with a rifle slung over his shoulder and a helmet on top of it.
My eyes aren't quite as good as they used to be. It
They're
may
not.
have been a white robe.
I'm a grand wizard. That's the real secret. Oh, no.
So, yeah, you finally got the cops called on you. Good job.
Yeah, no, but the good guys at the HRP are sensible and not brain dead, so they're like, yeah, no, this is fine. You're just crazy.
Well, I don't think you can be arrested for carrying a toy rifle, regardless.
No, but
a fake rifle, regardless of how large it is, especially if it's not realistic looking.
No, it's very realistic
very
looking. And
realistic.
ladies,
Yes, but it's not. It's a Star Wars rifle, right?
it's modeled after a World War II MG34. It looks very realistic, and ladies, believe me, it's also very large.
You can be arrested for having fake weapons.
Yeah,
If
no,
you went
like,
around
I'll leave it at
pointing
that.
at people, then
yeah, that's like,
but
Mine was realistic looking as fuck,
yeah.
and it got taken away.
yeah,
by
but
the police.
if it's a Star Wars rifle, like it.
They could probably still do
All their guns are based off real world weapons. Like the MG34 is a World War II German machine gun.
Yeah.
The only difference is between the real one and the one in Star Wars was some paint. That's literally the only difference. A couple little rubber strips across the barrel. The smaller rifle that the stormtroopers usually use is a Sterling L-22 submachine gun. Those all look like real weapons. Whenever I'm not in costume, like if I'm transporting my costume in the suitcase, I wrap the gun up in a garbage bag, because stormtrooper walking around with a rifle. All right, that's pretty normal. Yeah, stormtroopers have guns. Random dude, a suitcase and a rifle. Fuck. I'm usually very mindful of that.
Yeah.
But I was in my armor. I mean, fuck, come on. People still call me RoboCop, so I'm not surprised they don't know what a
we're all
stormtrooper
robots.
is. Fucking-
Really?
No, the
People call you RoboCop.
I've
We
been
get all
called
kinds of
I've been
weird
called
shit that way.
RoboCop. I get called Darth Vader. I've been called Luke Skywalker, but that's understandable because he wore the armor, and I go around with my helmet off.
We get Power Rangers a lot.
Power Rangers a lot. The weirdest one I've ever been called, though, was we were down on the waterfront. This was last year, and this guy's talking to his kid, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to get a picture with the AT-AT driver?" I'm like, "Whoa." If you know what an AT-AT driver is, you have to know what a stormtrooper is. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, that was a weird one.
You lose.
People are strange. Like, Star Wars came out, what, 40 years ago?
Almost. Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
40 years.
And
1977.
the only person I know who hasn't seen Star Wars is Travis Whalen. That's it.
What?
Really?
Yeah, he hasn't seen Star Wars. He's making it a point not to watch it now because he's
just
a
doing
douche.
it to annoy you.
Yeah, he just does it to bother me now. He's a
What?
douche. Yeah, no, I'm serious. Travis Whalen hasn't watched Star Wars.
I don't believe that.
Travis, if you're listening, eat a dick.
I don't believe that. I really don't believe that.
You want me to call him?
That sounds like one of the things he would say just fuck
to
with you.
just
Jen confirms it. I mean, he's seen
and
bits
she would go along with it.
I have to get to the bottom of this.
You know that they are fucking with you. You have to know that they're fucking with you.
I want to believe that they're just
not-
fucking with me.
honestly,
I know
man.
people who have
Yeah,
not seen
he's
Star
not the
Wars.
first person I
No,
would
but
have known.
Travis? No.
But he's like, yeah, he's pretty heavily involved with Halcon. It would be very
Insane?
odd. No, it would definitely be odd though. Now, I know people who haven't seen movies or stuff like that and wear it as a badge of pride now. Because really, you don't have to have seen Star Wars to have seen Star Wars anymore.
true.
Pretty much there is enough Star Wars that it has grown to such a degree. It's become such a large part of North American culture that you can probably piece the movie together without ever have seeing it. You can probably watch the movie in clips on YouTube and technically say, no, I have never seen Star Wars. I've just seen all the parts.
I want somebody who's never seen it but has heard a lot about it to film their version of Star Wars. I think that would be amazing.
One of our members, Lexi, she's not. I showed her episode 4 or the original Star Wars. I showed her that. I'm showing her it in the right order because she's never seen them before. So I'm showing her Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and then Return of the Jedi, and then we're just gonna wish they made more movies.
They're going to.
Yes, favorite prequel actually.
Be careful what you
Attack of the
wish
Clones.
for.
True.
Attack of the Clones was the best prequel.
Really?
Yeah.
That is the worst of all of them.
Nope, it was the best one.
Oh yeah, man. That is
No,
yeah.
Revenge of the Sith is the worst one.
Okay, Sith is really, really bad,
That's the worst one.
but I'm sorry, like
And
that just
Phantom Menace?
Think about it. Think about it from my perspective. I really liked Attack of the Clones because it shows all the politics and all the how the clones came to be. And as a stormtrooper, like I find that really interesting. I like the political grittiness of the background of the Republic, which in the same reason I like Deep Space Nine because of the political grittiness.
Whereas the first trilogy was like
Empire Strikes Back was
it
the best
was
one.
like sort of shaped like a mountain, right? 4 good, 5 amazing, 6 not as good as 4 or 5, but still, you
Up
know,
there, yeah.
Ewoks definitely interfere with my enjoyment, but not the
Cock-blocking
worst.
Ewoks.
Whereas if you look at the prequels, they make more of a valley. it's the exact opposite way.
I think they're
1
all-
bad, 2 god awful, and 3 only slightly better than 2. For me, it was Attack of the Clones was all I needed to make Phantom Menace look way better.
I don't know how you can defend Phantom Menace.
Really?
double-bladed lightsabers.
The only thing about Phantom Menace that sucks serious moose balls is Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Like without Jar Jar, it would have been. I will happily admit that it was 2 of the most retarded Jedi in the entire Empire.
Let's take this badass motherfucker named Vader, and then reduce him to a crybaby.
Make him a whiny little bitch.
I miss my mom.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, not Vader, Anakin. 2 different characters.
Obviously, but they took
Look
Vader
at
and
man. You look at the very end of Sith, and you look at the beginning of A New Hope. Okay, look at Vader.
The end of Sith.
No. Okay, right. But you look at that
Still a whiny
Vader.
baby.
You look at that Vader, and you look at the Vader from they're not the same Vader.
They ruined.
No.
They're played by different
I see
people.
The
Boy,
real Vader came along and wiped
killed
out
Anakin. No,
yeah,
literally killed the robot that was at the end of the Sith.
Yes.
They're
And
completely
replaced
different
him.
person. No, you're talking philosophically.
that actually
I'm
makes
talking
sense, too.
literally. The Emperor was like, "No, this guy's a fucking baby. I'm building a new robot who's like 100%
That's
robot."
what I was saying.
And
I wasn't being ridiculous.
No.
That's what happened.
sometime
in my
between-
head,
sometime
the
between
real
Sith.
Vader showed up and went, "No, I'm sorry. You just do not fulfill the criteria for being a badass Dark Lord of the Sith." Whoom.
Obi-Wan Kenobi said that too in the original Star Wars. A man named Vader killed and
killed
murdered your
yeah,
father.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
man,
it make all right. I'll allow that.
I've put
Okay.
I've
go
put
along,
a
yeah.
lot of thought into this one.
All right, so somebody film that movie, please. 'Cause I just want to watch fucking Hayden Christensen
run
get
through with a
Watch that,
lightsaber.
yeah.
On the topic of him screaming no at the end of Revenge of the Sith and the Blu-ray re-releases of the original trilogy, they added him screaming no when he picks up the Emperor and throws him off the thing.
Oh, it was terrible.
They
I
just
blocked
pretty
that
much
out.
cut that right in.
Are you serious?
I am not shitting you.
No, I remember it now. It's
when he's
terrible.
electrocuting
Oh,
Luke,
my
he
God.
picks up the Emperor and he's like, "No!" And
Okay.
it's the same clip, and he just chucks him over the edge.
I really hope that I'll go. I really hope that I can go online and download the original Star Wars before the.
You know what? I've got them on VHS.
Yeah,
If you wanna
I had
convert
them
to
on
DVD,
VHS, but if you go back, have you watched those recently?
you got to get a
They
VHS
degrade.
player. You got to get a tape player with good track.
Han shot first, man. Larry disagrees with me, but Han shot first.
Having him shoot first is like, it makes him.
A badass.
Yeah.
And
He's like, you know what? I know I'm not going to get out of this shit, so.
I think it changes the character dynamic a whole lot from he shooting in self-defense to he just fucking murdered that guy. Larry and I had a great discussion about it, and I see where he's coming from, but I disagree, but I understand what he means. So
Yeah, but Larry's wrong a lot. So. And I really don't care whether he's listening or not. I tell him to his face, "Yeah, Larry, that's a good point, but you're wrong."
Larry, the opinions expressed in this podcast are
Correct.
strict,
And you are wrong.
strictly the property of Andrew Dorfman.
No. They are correct.
They are correct.
Sorry.
And he is wrong.
Quiet, guest. You think because you're a guest in our podcast, we say you're right? No.
No.
Oh, well,
You're pulling a Larry
congratulations.
over there. You're wrong.
Better yet,
Congratulations.
no.
On raising the $1,800.
Hey, yeah, that's a thing we were talking about. Thank you.
Yeah,
it was
well,
on
I
track
mean,
there.
I'm bringing it all around because we're gonna break into
circle.
the Weekend Geek here, and a lot of stuff up on the Weekend Geek, and a lot of stuff that I don't have a whole lot to say about. Hemlock Grove season 2. Next, Netflix has ordered another season.
Good for them.
I'm all for Netflix. So far, Netflix has produced some decent quality new shows that you would never get on.
I don't have Netflix, but I like the whole idea of it. The fact that you can pick and choose what you want to watch whenever you want to watch it just makes sense. I don't know
Unless
how.
you're in Canada.
Unless you're in Canada, in which
Canadian
case you
Netflix.
just use a proxy and don't do these things.
No, that's
because
wrong.
that's against the law. But using a proxy to circumvent any sort of region lock so you can get American Netflix would be the way to go if that was a legal thing to do. But it's not, so don't.
I
And
just
it's
suggest
morally
you don't watch TV.
It's morally wrong because I'm a very moral and ethical person.
Stick to pirating because pirating's cooler. I mean,
Because you get to wear an eye patch. That's the whole point about pirating, right?
And fly a ship.
I have an eye patch hanging on my computer monitor, and whenever I download stuff off the net, I have to,
You
slap it on.
download things off the internet?
Yar.
That's
Oh my god. What kind of shady individuals am I in the
Oh,
world?
I be one of them dark kind of software pirates, boy. Yar.
Alex.
This
We
is
need to go to
getting
church
awkward.
and pray for their souls. This is just so I feel dirty being here. This is sinful and morally wrong.
I can't
Okay.
tell you.
GTFO.
Moving on.
Moving on. Mary Jane, the person who's been set to play Mary Jane in the next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 2, or Amazing Spider-Man 2.
There you
I
go.
really like the first one.
So. has been recast.
Who did they pick initially, or
Shailene Woodley, who I have no idea who she is.
I didn't know who she was either, but when she was first cast, a bunch of really unflattering photos were circulating of her on the internet. No, but in all honesty, like, it was actually kind of a sin when she was first cast. Like, people were like she looked like, in the pictures, she looked like Channing Tatum.
She looks like
What?
Yeah, like,
that's a really
That's not
honest,
flattering.
That's a very gay Spider-Man that we're going after.
it was interesting, to say the least. Thank you.
Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. I was reading about Channing Tatum earlier this week, and now his name just keeps popping up. The Bader-Meinhof phenomenon is when you learn of something or look into something, and then it just keeps popping up again and again and again. Yeah. And amusingly enough, the first time I read about the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, I kept hearing about the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon afterwards for like a week and a half. It was freaking me out. But that's your word of the day, Bader-Meinhof phenomenon.
Bader-Meinhof?
Yep.
That sounds kind of like a come-on that you'd use in a bar. Hey, baby, Bader-Meinhof.
Speaking of Channing Tatum, did you know he's actually really good friends with Jonah Hill?
Not being friends with either of them, no, I wouldn't know that.
That's something that really surprised me. Like, I know that they were in 21 Jump Street together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I was watching an interview with Jonah Hill, and he was like talking about how they were like really good friends, and it was just like, I don't know, it surprises me.
That people in movies can also be friends together.
Well, and that's the other thing that kind of surprises. Like, it doesn't.
Two best friends happen to be in a movie. It's just
Jonah Hill's using Channing Tatum for the pussy runoff.
I can see that.
He's catching his extra pussy.
Yeah, he's catching. You see, you don't get
surplus.
You don't get number one, but you get number two. And when you're following around,
well, when you're Channing Tatum, number two is pretty good.
Number two is like
is okay,
top shelf. So, I think it's just good planning on his part.
Yeah, way to go.
But no, I mean, I imagine it would be really, really uncomfortable for this woman who was originally playing Mary Jane. You know, I guess she's filmed scenes already.
Oh.
And then they just kind of like...
Oh, yeah, that's super awkward.
So, we're going to go with somebody who doesn't look like Channing Tatum.
Who's the new one? Is
Sarah Garden.
Sarah Gadon.
Gadon?
Sounds familiar.
She's a Canadian actress. She's been in a couple things.
What was this first girl's name? I gotta look this up now.
Just look up like Mary Jane Channing Tatum or something.
Mary Jane Channing
Tatum. Shailene Woodley. Shailene. She's not unattractive.
No, she's not unattractive at all.
She totally looks like Channing Tatum.
There is a really bad picture of her. Because, again, it's not in every picture, because I've seen some very flattering photos of her. That really must suck for her. I don't really care. I think that it's a shame that in these films they move so fast. Like, already they're going to introduce Mary Jane. I mean, that just tells me that at the end of this movie, Gwen Stacy's probably going to die.
Spoilers.
Oh, no. They'll just rewrite it so Gwen Stacy doesn't die. They'll make the comic book universe match the movie universe, and Gwen Stacy doesn't die.
Well, fuck it. Lucas can do it with Star Wars. Why can't they do it with Marvel?
They
As
can.
a Marvel
it
reader?
Just sucks.
As a Marvel reader? Fuck off.
Just saying.
No, honestly, like, Marvel has been really bad for it, but I'm hoping that they won't do too much Spider-Man retcon bullshit, because Marvel doesn't have the rights to the movie Spider-Man. They have no...
Sony does.
Yeah, they have no interest. They have no vested interest in making, you know, the two Spider-Men match up.
Don't they have like a dozen different universes that they can play into?
Like the comic books?
Yeah, like Marvel in general. Don't they have like different...
Really, there's two main universes. There's
Yeah.
the 616. That's what the main, like, where the Fantastic Four, the Spider-Man that we all grew up with, take place. And then there's the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
But there are many.
Have they numbered the Ultimate Universe?
Like, most of the universes are numbered, if I recall.
Yeah, they are all numbered. I can't remember what.
Like,
well, that is actually kind of a thing amongst some comic book people. Like, the 616 is like a big, like, call it the 616. But, I mean, Marvel's even gone so far as to number the different DC universes.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like,
Wow.
if you go on the Marvel Wiki page,
There's
like,
a lot of DC
as
stuff
far
there,
as, like,
isn't
looking at the numbered universes, like, all the known universes, the DC universe has a number. I don't know what number it is.
Didn't
but...
they mash those two universes together?
Oh yeah,
for like
they've met a
Comics or
couple
something?
times, and then there was the Amalgam comics
Yeah.
I
where
liked the Amalgam comics. I liked what they came up with for merging two here. Like, I would have liked to have seen more Amalgam comics.
The Iron Lantern, if I recall correctly.
I liked what they did with Wonder Woman and Storm, turning her into Amazon. That was that was a really neat. It was a really neat mixture. I don't think it really had much hope to last very long, but it was the last desperate death plea of two comic book companies in the mid-90s. That was
DC wasn't hurting. Marvel was hurting. Marvel almost went bankrupt in '96.
They did in the 90s.
They went into bankruptcy protection, I believe. There's a really good book that talks about it, actually. Comic Book Wars. Really good. You should read it. Anyway, yeah, poor woman, but I've already made
for everybody.
It is better for everybody, but I've already made my
her.
distaste with
No one will remember
Sony
Except
Woman
for a
and
Channing
Spider-Man.
Tatum-looking woman. I don't know whether that says good things for Channing Tatum or bad things for the woman.
Well, get those two together. Imagine how great their children will look.
Like Channing Tatum. Talking about Marvel, the Age of Ultron storyline is about to finish up, and Michael Bendis has talked about how this is supposed to affect the entire Marvel universe.
All right.
And all of everybody in the 616.
There you go.
This
You
one's
almost
all-
sound like a
you,
comic book
you
character.
can't see me, but I'm crossing my arms and looking sideways at the mic.
Yeah, because this one's at you guys. Because
Okay, so for those who don't know, and for those who are still planning on going back and, spoiler alert again.
Already been done.
Yep. Age of Ultron was one of the big events that happen every so often in Marvel Comics, and this time a big villain from the Avengers past comes back. His name is Ultron. He was an artificial intelligence built by Hank Pym, otherwise known as Ant-Man or Goliath or Giant Man or Yellow Jacket or whatever.
He really was like the Kmart of superheroes.
oh, wow.
He was. He what do you need? You need a giant man. I can do that. What you need?
Well, he's an interesting character, and anyway, he created Ultron, one of his two big fuck-ups, the other one being hitting his wife.
No, that wasn't the big fuck-up. The big fuck-up was allowing somebody to draw it.
Yeah, that was kind of a mistake on his part. But
Wow.
no, it was... So Ultron was created, he got smarter, and he decided that he didn't like humans. And he decided he was going to kill all humans, as
started a
robots
portal
are
testing
wont
facility.
to do. So,
A la Bender.
um,
There's a good one. Bender versus Ultron.
do it.
Who's going to kill all humans?
So, Ultron at one point went off into space, and eventually he came back, and this is Age of Ultron. He went to the future and sent a bunch of robots back in time and pretty much obliterated the human race. There's a few humans left, and they band together, and their solution, well, some of them go into the future to try to fight Ultron. Wolverine and Sue Storm go back in time to kill Hank Pym before he can come up with Ultron. And at one
Temporal
point
paradoxes are fun.
at one point Wolverine succeeds. He guts him like a fish, and then the universe
Implodes.
They go back to their time, only to find that the world is just as bad off. Without Hank Pym there, a whole bunch of shit happened. Yes, Ultron was never created, but the world was just as bad off. It pretty much ends there as well. So Wolverine goes back in time again
To kill himself before he
well,
can kill him.
He stops himself from killing him and then has a conversation with Hank Pym saying, you need to either not create Ultron or create Ultron and have some sort of way to stop him. So then he kills himself.
And he kills himself?
These writers
Yeah,
don't give a
it's-
shit about temporal theory, do they?
Well, here's the interesting part. So eventually Wolverine goes back to the present and, hey,
Whenever that might be.
you know what? He succeeded. Hank Pym put a failsafe in Ultron's program, which for some reason Ultron never found, and they were able to stop him when he came back to crush humanity. So they stopped him, hurrah! And then as everybody's kind of patting themselves on the back, all of a sudden reality fractures. And all sorts of crazy stuff happens, setting up some interesting things for the future of Marvel as a company, a comic book company. We were just talking about the 616 versus the Ultimate Universe. Well, they've been relatively separate for a while. Spider-Man has crossed sides, and a couple of other characters have crossed sides, but that whole shattering of realities caused Galactus, the devourer of worlds, to basically become aware of the ultimate Earth. And this is kicking off a miniseries called Hunger, where Galactus is like feeling a little peckish and goes to snack on the Ultimate Universe. So
they should just go back in time.
Yeah, pretty much. But the other really big news is Angela from Image Comics. People from the 90s who read comics in the 90s might remember Angela as a character in Spawn.
Yeah.
Angela will now be appearing in Marvel Comics. This is after a very bitter lawsuit between Angela's co-creators, Neil Gaiman and Todd McFarlane. I guess Todd McFarlane drew the character, but the character was Neil Gaiman's idea. Neil Gaiman won the lawsuit, and Angela will never again, I guess, grace the pages of Image, and she is now a Marvel property.
Wow. Never heard of anything like that happen.
Or at least on loan from Gaiman. I don't know the legalities of it. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know really what to expect from her character. She pretty much vows revenge on whoever broke reality. So she's coming to Earth.
Wolverine.
Yeah, he's like, seriously, she comes, who broke reality? He's over there, seriously.
Those claws can cut through anything.
I'm not going to deal with any of
Space
this shit
time.
anymore. He's over there.
He's
Fuck,
over
Wolverine.
there. Somebody fucking kill Wolverine, please. I mean, there's a universe we can experiment with. A universe without Wolverine. Think of all the people who wouldn't have been gutted. That's really.
I've always had a soft spot for Hank Pym, and like, yeah, the guy's not a great character, and I felt bad to see him gutted like that, but there was kind of an epilogue comic released after like all the big revelations of Age of Ultron #10, and it's all about Hank Pym and why he's such basically a shitty character, why he's constantly changing costumes to be different heroes, and like why he never succeeded as like why as a scientist he did two of his biggest mistakes, hitting his wife in Ultron. Like, he's just, I don't know. It's a good redemption story. If people have any interest in Hank Pym as a character, I definitely recommend picking up the epilogue to Age of Ultron.
Just the epilogue.
Well, yeah, we already ruined...
The rest of it can...
We've already ruined the entire story.
Well, yeah.
There's nothing they need to read now.
Oh, totally. No, you know what? As far as... people complain about Marvel events all the time. Oh, they fizzle out. Oh, it added nothing. Well, of course they're not going to really change the status quo. Yeah. Because as much as comic fans like to bitch and moan about, oh, everything's always the same, nothing ever changes, it's just the same old event every single year.
If it's too different, they'll lose their shit.
Oh my god, you like at the end of AVX, they like Cyclops killed Professor X and is now a villain. And some people are losing their shit about it. I think it's fucking amazing.
Crazy.
I think it's amazing. He fucking snaps his neck.
Oh shit!
Oh, he didn't even optic blast me.
No, yeah, it was amazing.
Way to go, Psych.
You didn't see this one coming, did you, Professor?
Like, it's
just thinking that.
It's just, anyway,
whatever you do, don't think about snapping the professor's neck.
Fuck!
You can hear your thoughts. He'll know immediately.
Anyway, it's an exciting time in comic books if you're reading them. And I mean, if you're not reading comic books, stop by your local comic shop.
Yeah. Talk
to whoever's behind the counter, and I guarantee you, Marvel, DC, Image, Vertigo, whether it's a single issue or a trade paperback, you'll find something.
Oh, I personally buy almost mainly indie comics.
There's a lot of great stuff coming out right now.
There's some great indie comics out there.
Nowhere Men is amazing. I have no idea what they're doing with that. $10,000 is great. $10,000 is about a guy who he died and was basically going to go to hell to be separated from his lover, who also died at the same time. She was going to heaven, and an angel basically came down and said, you can either go to hell or you work for us and do what we want you to do on Earth. So, like, kill people, find people, whatever. And every time you die, we'll give you 5 minutes in heaven with your lover, and then send you back down to Earth to work for us until you've paid your debt.
Best heaven related comic is easily Battle Pope.
That is an awesome comic. It really is.
See, that just reminds me of the awful time in the 90s where the Punisher became a hitman for God.
What?
Did you mean to say awesome time in the 90s?
No, I certainly did not.
Because I can't see how that wouldn't be
He's
awesome.
God. What does he need a hitman for? Can't he just go, pew, you're dead?
No. God is like a hands-off guy.
Yeah.
He's like the Godfather. He doesn't get his hands dirty, okay? That's why he doesn't help with, like,
But
the
he
starving
said-
people
but
or the
yeah,
malaria.
yeah.
It's not his problem.
No.
The Punisher got killed and then sent back to Earth with a holy shotgun. And basically, like, it just...
I need to find
a
out
holy,
what this
a
run
holy
was.
shotgun.
It
A
was-
holy shotgun. Like, that's meant for carnage. Not like a precision, like, sniper rifle or like a small concealable pistol. Like, no, just...
honestly, I really only briefly skimmed over it.
Have you tried Crossed?
Oh,
You're
geez,
never
we
gonna let-
no.
We
You're
talked
never
about
gonna
that
let
last time we were here.
There's not enough whiskey in this flask to get me through another story about Cross.
Yeah, we talked about that last time we were here. With
We
the,
haven't stopped talking about
the
it.
dolphin blowhole fucking.
Ever
and-
since it came up, it's been in every single fucking episode.
I swear we're drumming up sales for Carruthers right now. Like, every time we mention it, I'm sure, like, there's a cent that gets deposited.
Yeah,
into
well,
the checking account.
somebody's listening to this and going, God, it can't be that bad.
When you do read it, finally, come and find me and tell me what you think of it.
What, Cross?
Yeah.
I've read it.
No, not you. Whoever's listening to
Oh,
this.
okay.
Oh, Jesus. All I
Yes,
need to know
Alex's
about that.
phone number is...
All I need to know about Crossed, I learned the last time I was here. And,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
pretty much
done.
correct.
Yeah.
I'm done.
That's pretty much correct.
If dolphin
plenty.
rape doesn't really set it for you, I don't know what will.
Well, no, that's not the first Crossed, though. That's like the third or the fourth.
Yeah,
You're ahead of the game, man.
way.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert. If dolphin rape,
A man fucks a dolphin's
in the
blowhole.
blowhole.
so it was a blowjob.
I think we made that joke last time.
Probably.
I'm sure everyone who's read that was like, "Oh, blowjob. That's clever. I'm funny." He's very.
So
clever and
Marvel
funny.
should be interesting over the next little while. I would like to see Galactus eat the Ultimates universe. I think that would be
Well, it would fit in with the status quo over there.
yeah.
Like, the Ultimate Universe, I mean, in universe, they've only been around for like a couple years, and they've seen more death and destruction and carnage than anywhere else. Spider-Man's dead and been replaced. Daredevil's dead.
I bet he didn't see it coming.
Most of the
Hooray!
most of the mutants are dead. Like, everybody's dead in the Ultimate Universe, and they've all been replaced. It's,
Was Spider-Man replaced with a black guy in some comic? If I recall seeing that somewhere.
yeah,
Hispanic.
I think he was
Hispanic.
half
Sorry. Okay.
half black, but
People kicked up shit about that.
yeah,
but-
they did as comic
Yeah,
book nerds
but
do.
people will kick up shit about costume changes.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand the way people like. It's not like when DC did its costume change. It's not like Superman was flying around in a thong. Now, okay, so a lot of other characters were moving around in a thong.
Starfire.
But, yeah. Well, and they put pants on Wonder
Woman.
Woman. What? You can't put pants on Wonder Woman.
Women can wear pants.
No, women can, not Wonder Women.
Not Wonder Woman.
Wonder Women are stuck with a bustier and what the hell, some panties from panties left over from the 4th of July. Little flag panties.
Society just got a tiny
moving
bit
on
worse.
to on the topic of beating a dead horse.
We're going to talk about the
Beating a dead-
Xbox?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the Xbox.
If anybody's good at
The
shooting themselves in
day-
the face, it's Microsoft.
The day after Microsoft said, "Whoa, no, sorry, no, we're not going to include all that stuff." The Xbox, and I'm sure Larry, because he's a real Xbox.
He's a
lover,
he's
took
a console
no end-
peasant?
He
Oh, yeah.
took
I'm
no
a
end
console
of joy in stating that the Xbox outsold the PS4 the first day after they dropped all their.
That just bothers me because everybody's so pissed off, like, DRM, no, we're just going to buy the PlayStation. Then Microsoft comes out and says, oh, we're not going to do it now, guys. And everybody's like, yeah, Xbox. It's like, come on, grow a fucking spine. They were so willing to dick everybody over. And then once they undo it, everybody's like, yes, totally, we'll just give you our money again. That's fine.
Well,
we'll
they're
forget
not
about that.
removing it.
They'll
That's
bring it
the
back
thing.
slowly. They will. Watch.
It will insinuate itself back into
Mm-hmm.
very slowly, and they'll add certain things like you can't get this game unless it's DRM.
Yeah, they'll do it slowly, one bit at a time, and everybody will be like, yeah, these are great features. And then bit by bit, they'll build it all back up till the way it was initially, and Microsoft will just be like,
For those at home, he's rubbing his nipples as he makes that
Okay,
noise.
that was unnecessary.
it was necessary.
That's
My
going to be
description,
cut
or-
out of the podcast.
But that's what he was doing. I was aiding those who weren't here to see it.
Usually,
If we just tell them continuously how I was rubbing my nipples during that scene, he'll have a lot to cut out, and I think Derek's not willing to do that.
Derek
Derek's
doesn't
not
do any
editing
cutting.
it.
PigMonkey does the cutting. Derek
make
will
this-
leave all nipple rubbing in. In fact, I'll add more. after
Hey,
one week.
all right.
He'll rub his nipples while he's mastering it. That's
I did not think that's how you were ending
Mastering audio,
I'm going to need another hand if this
it's
is
a
the
different
case.
kind of mastering.
Just as an observation, I just read that story about the Xbox One bumping ahead of the PlayStation 4. That's on the best-selling list. That doesn't mean it's overcome it completely. It just means that that's what's selling better right now, which is obvious
Yeah.
because, like, of course Xbox was going to make a bump after PlayStation 4 has been kicking its ass for fucking a few weeks.
Yeah.
Unless I'm wrong, but from what I read of the article, it's just number one right now, which,
Yeah.
if they make a big announcement like that, it's bound to happen.
All
When it's
PlayStation.
$100 cheaper.
Right.
Like-
Then it might stay in number
Is it
one.
$100
No,
better, though?
PS4 is $100 cheaper than Xbox One.
Yeah.
When it comes to the holiday season, like, okay, yes, the PS4 comes out after Christmas, apparently.
Really? After Christmas?
That's what the Amazon release date was saying, December 31st.
There's
Okay.
no way. There's no way.
That has
they're
to,
not
like,
gonna-
it must be a mistake.
I've
but-
seen that with Amazon before. I think that's just an estimated thing. I
Yeah.
don't
Fair
think
enough.
it actually means
But
anything.
regardless, it's $100 cheaper.
Yeah.
When this is what I said last week or the week before. When mom or dad goes to pick it up at Future Shop or Best Buy or
when
whatever,
mom or dad goes to buy you the Nintendo,
yeah,
because
Yeah,
that's
they're
what
gonna
all
buy
consoles
yeah.
are.
you know, they're going to buy you the cheaper one, and they
Yeah.
might actually come home with a Wii U, 'cause, you know, which is actually kind of awesome. But
I wasn't on board with the Wii U really until, like, I was looking at them today. And I was looking at the games that are coming out for both, and the Xbox One, the PS4 games, they look incredible, but there's a lot of just like, I can't sit and play a game forever anymore.
Yep.
I need something quick and fun, and it looks like there's a lot of quick, colorful, fun, silly games for Wii U. And I'm
Nintendo's
like,
always
hey,
been like that, though.
Exactly. But like I could see myself, like, if I had friends over, I would want to start up a Wii to play, like, Mario Party before I want to start up, like, Battlefield 4 to make them watch me play online.
I agree. The Wii is a much more social console for a group of people. Like, I played it at Travis's place, and it's enjoyable. I can understand it, but Some of the games that are actually coming out for the PlayStation or the Xbox are actually incorporating Android or iPad tablet features into it as well. So whoever has the tablet is like the commander of the battlefield and can send whoever's in the room with them intel. There's one game coming out that integrates that feature, and for the life of me, I don't remember the name of it, but it looked fucking awesome.
Well, if they're smart, what I feel we should come out with is a Dungeons and Dragons game.
Right.
Where
that's what people have been saying. Yes,
yeah, like I've the person with the Wiimote,
tablet or what have you, yeah.
Wiimote thing. They do
have
all
their
the
DM
encounter
screens.
stuff, and meanwhile their party members are like walking on the screen doing their thing. I mean, I don't know, that would be an awesome game.
I think that would be pretty cool, and
Like they
for
do-
the most part feasible to pull off.
Like they do a similar thing in Zombie U, where you can have a mode where one person plays on the screen, like constantly trying to get away from the zombies and all that, and then one person in the tablet actually places zombies
Yeah.
to
There's
try to kill
something
you.
that is just so incredibly fun about trying to fuck your friends over when they're trying to play. You know what I mean? Like,
Never
Yeah.
told.
like
That goes right back to having brothers and fighting them
Absolutely.
for the video game controller.
I'm always player 2, so it doesn't fucking matter because my brother was older. That's just how it
Yeah,
happened.
well, I grew up.
And Luigi.
I grew up.
Yeah,
Luigi.
I love Luigi because of that. Mary
exactly.
can suck a
And
dick.
It's the year of Luigi, so I'm like, fuck yeah, finally.
Well, there's something that came up that's not particularly geeky, but it's something that is just ridiculous, and I wanted to talk about it because I want to hear what you guys have to say in it. And this is something that only affects Canadians because this is a Canadian ruling. But
It's rage-inducing.
the BC Supreme Court has ruled in favor of a woman who claims that her anxiety was exacerbated by a comedian's razzing and turned into full-blown PTSD, post-traumatic stress. Now, leaving aside as to whether it is post-traumatic stress or isn't post-traumatic stress, the question more for me is, does the law have any place telling us what's funny? This, like, to me, and as a comedian, somebody who does do stand-up and who does get up in front of a crowd and say ridiculous shit that half the time I don't believe, I'm just getting a reaction out of the audience. Knowing that now I can be sued for $15,000
Because you hurt somebody's
because
feelings.
I hurt somebody's feelings because somebody didn't like what I said. This topic really bothered me, just because I don't like being told what's funny.
Right. And, well, first of all, what is funny is relative. Everybody has their own ideas of what is funny and what isn't. And that's fine. Everybody should have that. And everyone has the ability, especially when you're over 18 or 19 or 20 or 21, whatever your drinking age is when you enter a comedy club, you are old enough to about face and get the fuck out of the bar if you don't like who's performing or something bothers you. That's how life works. What bothers me in this situation is it's happened once now. So what happens next time? This lesbian couple heckled a comedian, and the comedian defended himself by using a bunch of gay slurs on them, and it wasn't particularly funny. And I guess this guy's nature is to not be.
He's not I've
He's a
seen
bit
him
offensive.
perform. What I'm really concerned about, like, there are two things that I'm really concerned about. One is that she has successfully sued this comedian for $15,000.
And the club, he was
And the second one is she successfully sued the club that he was performing in for $7,000. Now,
She's no worse than patent trolls now.
well, for me, it just seems a little slimy, right? Like, oh, look, I can take advantage of the fact that somebody pissed me off, and now I'm going to drag him through court, and then I'm going to own his ass.
Right. And it's very Westboro the way they operated, because they're the ones that instigated it. You know, that's what Westboro do. They instigate the fights, then they get punched, then they sue, because it's not who insults each other or who gets on each other's nerves, because has no legal ramifications. The first person to throw a punch, then it's a problem. So I could go up to someone on the street and be like, hey, you're a fag and a bitch, blah blah blah. I could be a total ass, and then as soon as they hit me, I could be like, oh, I got that on tape. I'm going to sue you. So I'm afraid we're babying people a little too much, especially adults.
Yeah,
and,
I'll agree with that.
And especially with things that are relative, like I said. If that's okay, first of all, like I've had this conversation a bunch of times with usually the rape joke, because that's the big scary one that people don't like to talk about. And quite frankly, I don't agree with what this comedian said. I don't think it was very funny, and I don't even think rape jokes are that funny unless they're done really well. In which case, yeah.
Well, you gotta be
Reginald D. Hunter does a really good one, surprisingly.
Louis C.K., George Carlin.
Yeah, you gotta be really clever,
but
in
like
order to pull off a good rape joke,
right?
Because mostly,
do you feel horrible just saying that?
No, I don't. I don't, because you have to be a true fucking genius to get a whole bunch of people to look at rape in a way that everybody can laugh.
Right. Do you think that trivializes rape at all, or do you think it's bringing it into the light and making a stronger point of it so we focus on it?
I don't think it trivializes rape. I really don't. I think I don't think it adds awareness to it. I think anybody who is anti-rape is going to be anti-rape regardless of whether somebody tells jokes of it. I think somebody who's pro-rape is going to be pro-rape whether somebody tells jokes about it. It's got nothing to do with humor. It's got to do with the evil motherfucker who's doing the raping.
I really hope there's not many pro-rape people out there, because that's fucked.
You know what? I would not be surprised if there are quite a few pro-rape people. The
listening
world
to
is
this
a strange
show right
place.
now.
It's a checklist. If you've ever raped somebody, you may be pro-raped. Pro-rape.
Pro-rape.
Pro-raped.
Pro-raped.
Well, that's what happens.
I guarantee you some of your
that's what happens
listeners
when they
right
go to prison. Right there.
Pro-rape.
But I'm not.
But the idea is that once a rape joke is unacceptable, then really an abortion joke isn't any better, but also a racist joke isn't any better.
And then murder.
And also a pedophile joke. And murder.
Rape is horrible.
Right.
Rape is horrible. So how is taking somebody and murdering them better than a rape joke?
Right. The idea being, their idea being that a rape victim can be in the audience and that can trigger something. And I understand that. A murder person couldn't. But we all, like, a person could be with someone that, or know someone that's been murdered. The problem is we're babying people too much. When you enter a comedy club, or just in life in general, understand that people are going to be horrible. And you can either enjoy it and appreciate it, or not give your money to it and say fuck you and write a blog about it, or write the newspaper.
I mean, really, one of the easiest ways that a comedy club could probably get around this is just having a sign at the front door saying, when we film Geeks versus Nerds, we have a plaque when you come in that's saying, this show is being filmed. If you do not wish to be filmed, don't come in here.
Yeah.
This is a comedy show. In all likelihood, you will be offended. If you do not wish to be offended, do not come in here.
Exactly.
And news shows do the same thing. When they have pundits or people debating, they'll put a disclaimer at the end. These are the opinions of these people, and not...
Yeah, I was going to say, right before we went live, Alex had a point, and I was like, let's go live now. And he's like, no, I had something to say. And he's been quiet. So I'm like, Alex, what do you got for us?
Well, no, my only... I do have several concerns about this. I mean, I'm concerned that this will mean that people don't take risks on stage. And as I've learned in learning how to do comedy, a big part of doing comedy is taking risks.
Without great risk, there's no great reward.
Yeah, sometimes they fall flat. I've seen a number of comedy performances fall flat, either because they were just stupid or because they were offensive. And you know what? They didn't do it in a good way to make it not just offensive, but also funny. Now, I don't know exactly what happened that night in that club in BC, But it sounds like both sides are probably stretching the truth or bending the truth a
There
little
were
bit.
when PigMonkey was reading the story, there seemed like many times where both parties should have just stepped back and said, "Maybe I should calm down," but
Maybe I
instead they
should
just
just
went
walk
full
away.
retard. You
I-
you never go full
I
retard.
always quote the masked man in fucking the Road Warrior. Just walk away. That's very
Basically.
few people are gonna.
Easy, my dog of war.
Yeah. No. The queef of South Park. I'm hoping somebody understands that, the Road Warrior. Soon, my dog of war, but we do it my way. Lose us weight.
But I mean, okay, so he made some shitty jokes. That would be one thing. Now,
Well, he didn't really make jokes.
he attacked.
He attacked.
He attacked. Now, I do believe that, in my opinion, attacking somebody for their sexual orientation, if that's what he did, but attacking somebody for their sexual orientation isn't cool.
And it wasn't.
No,
and
I would never
situation,
defend that.
It's like this guy was being a fucking dick.
Yeah.
If he had made some funny lesbian jokes at least to make the crowd laugh, good for him. But if it was just insulting him, then
Yeah.
fuck this guy.
Well,
the idea that they're
but
getting money.
the-
Also,
bottom-
in fairness, he's making gay jokes in a mainly gay
yeah,
restaurant.
he shouldn't.
Yeah.
No, but okay, so I can't abide the fact that he attacked some people based on their sexual orientation. That's not cool. Regardless of which, should he now have to pay $15,000?
That's a lot of money.
I don't think so. I mean, now some people he's saying that they heckled him. So can a comedian no longer defend himself when he's being heckled? Everybody in this situation is being shitty. In my opinion, it seems like this is the type of thing that would happen in the States.
I was
This type of
thinking the same
lawsuit,
thing. I didn't want to
thought
say
that
it
this-
though.
I thought this was going to be a United States thing. The way that they sue each other down there, I don't see that as being something Canadians do. I mean,
Normally we say, "Look, I'm sorry." Like,
now
that
we
was a
have
shitty thing to do.
anti-hate speech laws.
Yeah.
And I agree with them. I mean, I do, agree free speech to an extent.
Yeah.
The second you start preaching hate speech, okay, back the fuck off, asshole.
I agree.
Now, whether or not him attacking somebody based on their sexual orientation, I don't know. I don't understand the legalities of, like, what is hate speech, what isn't. Should he have done it? No. Should they be suing? No. They're all assholes. There is a defined... I don't know. I don't have it on me. I'm not an expert on the law. But the times where I have seen people like the Westboro Baptist Church not allowed into Canada to do speeches and
That's
shit
funny.
like that, I think that that's awesome.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
we don't allow people like
And
that
I think
in our country.
an ideal thing in this situation would have been the club saying, "Guess what? You're not coming back."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those people could write the news
Oh, and I'm
say this
sure
guy's
he
a
did.
dick.
I'm sure they did.
They should have their opinion. And they should say it loud. And they should, if the club doesn't like him, then kick him out. But the idea of him having to pay $15,000 because of something that
Hurt feelings.
Maybe he was trying to make people laugh, and it just was a dud.
But yeah, my big issue here is the same as yours. The precedent is set now.
Right.
Okay, so I'm fat. I have made jokes about fat people before, but
Is this like black people can make black
well,
jokes?
no, but like,
Fat
what
people
if
can make
what
fat
if
jokes.
what if some person makes a fat joke around me? I can now say, oh.
Post-traumatic stress.
Aw,
My
man.
fat feelings are hurt.
I need to go. Like, Your Honor, he drove me to the
eat.
point where I had to go down to KFC and get the extra crispy bucket.
And then I had a heart attack.
And then it caused me physical pain. Like, where do you I agree with that aspect. Where do you draw the line? And that's why I don't think she should have been able to sue. Because you know what? Yeah, words hurt, but
Fucking deal with it like
you
an
can,
adult.
You can
Jesus.
walk away, or you can write a blog, like you
Right.
said.
if you're sitting in the front row
And if you're
of
heckling,
the stage
especially.
and you're heckling the I'm not going to sit there and take that. I am going to point that person out, and I am going to embarrass them in front of the entire audience and put them in their place. Yep. And if they open up their mouth again, I'm going to do it again. And if they open up their mouth again, I'm going to make the show about mocking this person for the rest of the night. That's just what you do when you're a comedian.
Yeah, definitely.
So what if you're outside of a comedy club, I'm walking down the street, and I call Alex fat, and it triggers his post-traumatic stress disorder?
Then you have to carry him home.
You do not want to have to carry me home.
He's
But
fat.
like,
Oh, dude, that really hurt my
I
feelings.
but like,
Here's your
I'm suing this
$15,000.
podcast.
Here's your
is
$15,000.
one place fair game and one place not fair game? Like a bar obviously is 18 or over, or 19 or 21, depending where you are. Will this stretch out onto the streets where, like, eventually, like...
Wait. By stretch out, do you mean like I'm stretching my pants right
Exactly,
now?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that little jab in, and now I'm done. Take that, Alex. No, but, like, how far will it go? Like, is the next thing, like, two guys on the street, one person calls, like, nice pants faggot, and it's like, I'm not a faggot, and then you sue them? Like, is that the direction we're going in? I almost kind of wish that you just tie one of their hands together, just one hand, and let them fucking punch it out.
That would be amazing.
Just put them in a boxing ring and let them punch each other a few times, then break it up.
Some states actually have, like, I can't remember the term for it, but it's basically if both
parties
people
agree to a fight,
to
then
a fight,
they can fight it out.
No weapons, just they fight until one person falls or concedes.
And that's that.
And no charges can be brought. Like, it's like, I think that's awesome.
That's very
I think
gentlemanly.
they should be televising that.
Just
with
deal with
the
your
music
shit.
from Star Trek over there.
Just go all out. Just give them the big weird sticks and televise it.
Anyway,
Who needs the
people are
octagon,
fucked.
right?
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
They're fucked.
Well, I just hope that this doesn't go too far. As a comedian, you're going to take a hit if you're too abusive to people. People are going to stop seeing your show. They're going to stop supporting you. So you're going to take a hit anyway. I just think the idea of suing them and the club. Come on, the club didn't pay him to go up there and say that shit. Maybe they knew what they were getting. But...
It's definitely a maneuver of money grubbing. Like, there's no
But
doubt.
I'm really I hope that there's not. Well, I'm sure there are more people out there who are listening to this and saying, I was really hoping to buy a new car this year. I guess I'm going to go down to the comedy show tonight. And
Yeah. Well,
that's what's next.
The other thing, the other thing that really kind of is a silver lining in this is that it was just the BC Supreme Court.
I hope
you
they
can
take
take
it to
it
the
to the
Supreme
Supreme Court of Canada, and as much as I don't think that this woman deserves to have had her have gotten PTSD from this, which I still as much
It's so
as
hard
I
to
don't
diagnose
want to
that.
mock her for it.
But you do.
You'll get sued.
I really, really I had a really rough childhood through school, and I was mocked continuously. And yet I didn't come out of public school with PTSD, and I didn't knife a single child. So clearly, I managed to exhibit a higher adult tendency in public school than this woman did
In public.
in public.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, so that's that.
You can't just yell at people and tell them to grow the fuck up.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
fuck
you can.
Yes, you can.
You can, but you have to.
But
be
you'll get sued!
You have to be a
damn.
comedian on stage, and you have to do it in a non-offensive, non-threatening way.
Hey, Dyke, grow up, you cunt. That's not the proper way to do it, by the way.
That's staying in.
Fuck. MHA
so-
and its members are not sexist. We love bitches.
So quickly before we
God.
wrap,
Stop talking.
Somebody
I will
turn
cut
off his
that
mic.
Before we close up here, the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith, is leaving Doctor Who
Good riddance.
this season. Like, you even fucking know who it is. You know nothing about Doctor Who. You don't give a shit.
I believe it's pronounced Doctor Whom. If you were a true Doctor Whom fan, you would know that.
That was fantastic. That was good.
No, but seriously, what's a Matt Smith?
He is the 11th Doctor.
Oh, they have 11 of them.
Well, there've been a lot.
It's a well-staffed ER.
Yes. Yeah. And yet, not a single life saved.
Is
but
McDreamy
thousands
still
killed.
with his antics on the Doctor's spaceship?
What?
I don't know.
Making shit up.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Scott O'Coin, Ben O'Larry. Thanks for coming out.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for having us. It's always fun.
And we are finishing up the show. I am your host, PigMonkey.
I'm your other host, Alex.
And that is the show.